Everybody, VC, all my friends out there, hope you're doing well. Welcome to Twanger's Turntable. I'm your host, Mark, as per usual. Today I'm jumping on here to do, this is my second video. I'm just going to post it whatever day you're seeing it is when I'm posting it. But this is for Royce in the house. Saw a video he was doing. I think I saw it on Saturday or Sunday in recognition of him making 200 videos and a push to 700 subs. So congratulations first and foremost, Royce. That's quite an accomplishment, quite a milestone. I think when I checked, you were up around 620 some. So no doubt you'll make it up to 700 subs. Just going to crack me a cold one here before I get going. I'll fill you in on the details. Go over to his page. Subscribe, check him out. He's got some good stuff there. Good guy. I think I've seen him on, I've seen him throughout the community in different chats and whatnot. I think I've seen him on Rachel's Ghost time or two. But yeah, his contest is celebrating 200 subs, or 200 videos, pushing 700 subs. What he wants us to do is, first and foremost, subscribe. So if you have not done so, go over there and sub them up. As I've said in the past, if you've gone over to somebody's page to check them out, their channel, give them a like, subscribe, whatever. I hope I don't push that too much on my own. It's just, if people want to do it, great, but it doesn't cost anything. So please do so. But the criteria for his contest is he wants to present 3 albums that have songs on them of greater than 10 minutes in length, basically. So songs that are greater than 10 minutes long. So I hope you like psych rock and progressive rock and whatnot, because I suspect you'll see a lot of that, Royce. And 3 songs with more than 10 minutes, 3 soundtracks, 3 albums that are soundtracks, and 3 that feature your favorite keyboardist, synth player or whatnot. Just somebody quite that you're a fan of and they're quite proficient in your opinion. Obviously, this is all subjective to one's opinion. What I may like, you may not, vice versa. It's all good. And I speak in general terms to everyone out there in the vinyl community and YouTube. So I'm going to jump into it with, I've picked some of my favorites. And I've only watched a couple of videos so far, including yours, Royce. I also watched Dave's Vinyl Digs. I've watched his video. And the bonus is present a poster out of an album, which Dave did with Styx. I think he did the Grand Illusion one. I don't recall. But so for the bonus entry, you get a bonus entry if you add something like that. So I will do that. But I'm going to start off with one of my favorites and earliest introductions to metal and hard rock when I was just a kid. This is an early pressing. I don't know what pressing, but we're not getting into all that. This is essentially from Black Sabbath's debut. And of course, if you flip over to side 2, depending on where you bought this album and what pressing it is, from my understanding, I'm certainly not a encyclopedia on this. They are one of my favorite bands. And of course, on side 2, you've got A Bit of Finger, Sleeping Village, and Warning, which is, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 minutes long, in excess of 10 minutes for sure. That's entry number 1. Number 2, my all-time favorite band for sure. Certainly, and one of their top albums in my opinion. Of course, they've got a great, huge catalog, so that can sway depending on what I'm listening to. But it is from 1984, Iron Maiden, Power Slave, and of course, you know it, Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I mean, it's become a staple in, I believe, all their live shows since then. Of course, inspired by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the poet, from back in the 18 whatever the hell it was. I don't know. I'm not big into poetry, but of course, most of us will be familiar with some of the sayings that came about because of his writing, such as an albatross around your neck and water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. The latter being one most people would be familiar with, water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink, or versions of that. Rhyme of the Ancient Manner. Essentially, I mean, to sum it all up, um, the moral of the story on Rhyme of the Ancient Manner is what not to do if a bird shits on you. You don't believe me? Ask Bruce. Next up, another one of my favorites, going back to the 70s. And primarily, I know this is a polarizing band based on the vocalists. Some cannot stand them. Those who can, I believe, benefit from hearing their great proficiency in playing their instruments. And you can certainly hear that as they progress as a band. By this time, this is my favorite from this band. And of course, it's Neil Peart and the Holy Trinity that is Rush. Hemispheres kicks off with that title track. It's like 18 minutes long. I could have gone with any early Rush. I mean, Caress of Steel has got the Necromancer on it. 2112, of course. Quite a few I could have gone with when you're talking about Rush, because as a prog rock band, hard rock band, there are a few that are as good. And hey, you can go with whatever floats your boat as another water reference, but this to me is as good as it got. Arguably, Farewell to Kings with another one that was inspired by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. I'm getting off topic, but that's okay. It's my video. Xanadu off of Farewell to Kings. Farewell to Kings was inspired by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge? Not sure how you say it. Coleridge. It's Coleridge. That's number 3 for my 10-minute songs that exceed 10 minutes. Now for soundtracks, I had to go with this. I've been working on doing a Beatles ranking. I've watched a few videos, Sam St. John, Aaron Musa Alamir. Oh, geez, a few more. I think I watched Northern Revolutions do one. Did Chris Brophy do one? I don't remember. Brophy, sorry. There was a few I've watched of Beatle rankings, and they're all so good, and they're all so different, and I love them all. I think Steve did one at All the World's a Stage. So I went with a Beatles, and this is the soundtrack, the actual soundtrack album from Help. I have the other one as well. But yeah, I kind of have, I'm at what they refer to as a transitioned Beatle fan. I was never a Beatle fan. It's, hard to believe for some, I'm sure, but to me, it was all hard rock and metal back in the day. Was kind of converted thanks to my wife. She saved me. I've been saved. I now appreciate the Beatles and their place in history. And we have pretty much their entire catalog as far as studio albums. So hopefully we'll be doing a ranking of that soon, but I've got to put a lot into that one because there's a lot. I'm not an encyclopedia on Beatles. Jesus, man, do I ever get off topic when I start talking? But it's not really off topic. As I said, it's my video, so I hope you enjoy it nonetheless, Royce. So Beatles and the Help soundtrack. Next up, this one, I want to include this simply because it's very meaningful in our family as far as present day goes. Some of the stuff is nostalgic or for whatever reason reminds you of people, places, and things. As I always say, this one is directly due to my grandsons and their involvement in our life, and it is the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack from 2019, I believe it is. Throw on my cheaters here. And it's a great soundtrack for what it is. It's typically not music that's in my wheelhouse, but I enjoy this immensely because of my grandsons. And it is for what it is, it's a great soundtrack. I mean, R&B, hip hop. I don't know if you could say rap on this. I don't know. Genres are for those who like to put things in a box. I'm not as much into that as I used to be. Of course, the only genres I was concerned about, as I mentioned to death, I guess, is hard rock and metal. Not so anymore. That's a fantastic album, and it's selection number 2 for my soundtrack entries. Third one is an old school one, but Still a great one when you consider the time. It is definitely a product of the era. And I don't know if there are many more eras defined more by a soundtrack than the 1970s. And of course, it's Saturday Night Fever. And this has got the Bee Gees, the Tramps. Who else is on here? David Shire, Kool and the Gang, of course, Casey and the Sunshine Band. What was that one? If I Can't Have You, Yvonne Elliman, Ralph McDonald, Calypso Breakdown, KG, MFSB. Who am I forgetting there? Fifth of Beethoven, Walter Murphy, and the rest I've already mentioned. Tavares, More Than a Woman, of course. And I'm sure I'm not showing very many people something they haven't seen before with this one, but hey, that's probably the case for all of them. I mean, the VC is such a vast community, and probably not a lot I'm going to be showing here that you haven't seen. But I tried. I mean, out of the videos I've seen, I'm trying to show stuff that hadn't been presented. So that's the third one out of soundtracks. Now the last category, the criteria was to show, second last if you include the bonus picture, was to show keyboardists that you're a fan of that are prevalent in their art or their music or on an album. And the first one that came to mind right away for me was, of course, John Lord, Deep Purple. I chose this just as their kind of return to form when they did this album, Perfect Strangers. And of course, John Lord is all over this, as he was with any of the Deep Purple primarily. And of course, with Whitesnake, the stuff he did with Whitesnake in the mid to late 70s to 84. In fact, I did a short with Slide It In, Whitesnake. I believe that was the last album he appeared on. And of course, also on here with Ian Pace, appeared with Whitesnake. But the keyboardist, John Lord, just amazing. Love that stuff. Next up, I chose Gary Newman. I mean, you know, with Two Boy Army and his solo stuff, it's all based around synths. I mean, really. I mean, one can argue that, whatever. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But I chose this particular album, Telecon, because it's got a track on here called "I Dream of Wires." And I'm going to tie that in. But he's a fantastic keyboardist, synth player with his Moog machines and stuff that he did. But he also appeared on a Robert Palmer album, Clues, where Robert Palmer covered that song, I Dream of Wires. And I actually like the cover version, Robert Palmer's version, better. It's just more, it's got more bottom end to it, more drums, more just a better, maybe just might come down to just production, but I like it better. And then last but certainly not least, probably my favorite piano player, Elton John. And I chose this album just because this is a pretty early introduction for me to Elton John and Madman Across the Water. I mean, the first time I heard that, it's like, wow. And it still actually blows me away when I listen to this album. There's so many good tracks on here. Of course, could have gone with Yellow Brick Road, could have gone with Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy is a great one. There's so many, of course, right? It's Elton John, and certainly early Elton John. I mean, I love all the stuff, and that's probably my favorite pianist in rock. And that's I don't listen to a lot of easy listening classical, so I don't even know. I mean, Paul McCartney is a fantastic pianist as well. If you watch some of the videos where they're coming up with their new songs, that's primarily where, and maybe that's a lot of artists do that. I mean, I know he didn't think so, but of course Freddie Mercury I think was a great piano player. Anyway, I digress. That's my entries: 3, 3, and 3, 3 with 10 minutes, 3 soundtracks, and 3 piano players. The bonus, I just picked this up recently, and it's the Black Keys. This album is an album by Black Keys. The name of the album is Brothers, although they are not. But this is the 10th anniversary. I can't believe it's 10 years already. With the 3 bonus tracks on it. And I was not even aware of this when I got it, that it had this bonus poster inside that I'm going to display. So we'll pull that out. I'll have to back up because it's a fairly large poster. So Pardon me. I just got to open this all up. No, I'm too far back now, aren't I? There you go. Almost get that right into the perfectly centered. So that's it. Hopefully that qualifies for my bonus entry, Royce. And a lot of fun doing this. Great contest. Everybody go over, check out Royce's page, subscribe, like, leave a comment if you'd like to or not. That's fine too. I do appreciate you all checking out my video as well. And I'll leave it at that. Go check out Royce's page now that you're done here. And yeah, thanks for dropping by, everyone. I'll see you again soon. I'm going to do another video soon, but this was just for in recognition of Royce and to support others in the VC. You know, that's awesome. I love that part of it. I'll see you next time here at Twanger's Turntable. Take care, everybody. Cheers.